What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this video is about Empire Season 6, Episode 8, Do You Remember Me? Now, it's winding down to the mid-season finale of Empire, and it's starting to get heated up. Now, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and bang that bell so you're notified of my next videos. And subscribe. I'm trying to get to 30k subs, and if you enjoy this video and recommend it, hit like. Let's get into it now. When it starts off, we see Warren, who is Jamal's ex-boo thing, and so he's upset. He's telling a group of family members that he wants to get revenge on the Lions and destroy them like they did his auntie and his cousin. And she said, well, little Warren, what, you mad? You the one that was playing house, sucking on his little lollipop. What you mad about? He said, you know what, I'm gonna destroy them. And so meanwhile, we see 7 months from now, once again, Lulu was saying, oh, so okay, you got balls now, that's what it is, Mike. And Cookie in the car, and then she's getting blowed up, and he was getting shot up. Now, fast forward to now, Cookie has got her little special at her show, where T-Talk, where she got a music segment, and she's saying, introducing with Bossy Media, La. And then out come La, and now she done came a long way singing and everything, doing a good job, got on her little outfit. And so Cookie and Biggie and Smalls is all celebrating and looking good. And she say, yeah, you did good. You making me look good with Lala doing good. They like, girl, thank you. I appreciate your help too. They like, yeah, girl, I like this. And then they hear the Lala singing. And she like, I heard that before. And she say, well, just so you know, that's right there. That's Lala's little sensei for the music. And they point to Melody. And she like, Melody, okay. All right. Well, you know what? Y'all do good. I'm proud of y'all. And as she walk away, she go ahead and throw a little couple eyes at Melody because something is on her mind. Meanwhile, we see Biggie and Smalls belly bumping, having a good old time. Later on, we see Lulu, and now he's sitting there and he's with Badu, and he's like, you know what, I never spent all night with a lady and we ain't do nothing but talk. She say, so what, you trying to complain? He say, not with you, I ain't. No, I ain't complaining at all, man. But you know, I really appreciate this. This don't have to end. She say, well, you know what, I said I'd spend some time with you, but then I gotta get back on tour and go to my stuff. He said, well, look here, I mean, I want to spend time with you. Why don't we do so? I only got a couple things to do today, man, and then we can have it all day. She said, yeah, but I want to get to know the real you, okay? I want to get to know into the spirit of Lucious Lion, all right? He's like, you got that. You're going to get all of that. Just give me a little time and I'm all yours, man. And so then later, we see it's some type of function, and we see it says guns down, fists up. And next thing you know, we see Reg from the Shy, and he's singing over here a little lullaby or whatever. He in the clouds and like in the little smoke out session singing or whatever. And so in the backstage we see Andre, and he all happy with his wife Terry, and she's saying, you know, you did good. He say, hey man, everybody been trying to sign this dude and he don't want to sign, but I know what I'm gonna be able to bring to the table. He won't be able to resist. Even Lucious tried and wasn't able to do it. And so after he was finished singing, he invite Andre and his wife out onto the stage, and Andre say, hey, you know, here at Empire we support you and your vision, and guns down, fists up. This man here, his brother, his father, his cousin, everybody's been shot, but we here because he here, and Empire want to give you $10 million to your foundation. And he like, whoa, thank you, I appreciate it. He say, I appreciate everything, black man, and everybody, if you can, donate at least $1 because every black life matter. And so we see everybody in the crowd, they happy, clapping. He's all excited and geeked up, Andre, and he like, man, whoa, I can't believe you just did this, man. This is gonna make a big difference. And Andre saying, hey, look, man, that's what I want to let you know. Here at Empire, we support your vision and we got your back. We like a family. Like, hey, look, man, I appreciate everything, but I ain't signed with nobody for a reason, you know, because I don't answer to nobody. He said, well, look, I know, I understand. He say, hey, I'm my own man. That's how I roll. And meanwhile, Meanwhile, Lucious roll up and he watching this whole thing unfold. And he said, I understand. He said, look, I appreciate it, but you saying that Empire's different now. It don't matter which lion is sitting on the throne to me. It's all the same. I'm my own man. I do my own thing. He said, we appreciate your autonomy. We're going to do that. That's why I support you. He said, oh, okay. Well, you know what? I see this check come with strings. Keep your check then. And Andre is looking a little salty when he said that. He like, I don't need none of that. If that's what this means, I'm out. And he walks off. And so now Andre is standing there looking stupid, and here come Lulu walking up. And he said, look, Pop, I don't want to hear no lecture right now. He said, no, don't worry about it. He was all right. He would have been an asset, but I meant everything I said, and it'll be others. You just keep doing you, and everything will be all right. All right, son? You all right, Mike? Hey, give me a hug. And so then they little hugs, dap show up, whatever. And now that left Andre sitting there thinking and wondering what is it that he's got to do to sign this dude. Meanwhile, Kingsley is in the back of his ear talking. And so Lucious was leaving, and then White Tracy like, you ready for our lunch? He's like, you know what, Tracy, I forgot. I'm gonna have to reschedule. And while he was walking away, she looked like she was salty and heartbroken because he forgot the lunch, so she want revenge or something. Meanwhile, Andre is sitting there and he's starting to think about what was happening, and now Kingsley, his other half, is talking, saying, we ain't gonna be able to take him down without playing dirty. When he left, he said he giving you the keys of the kingdom. He still won't appreciate you unless you just take him down. Meanwhile, we see Biggie and Smalls, and they sitting there and they talking, and one of their friends is there in the crowd, and she went to school with Giselle, and so they like, ski-wee. She like, yeah, this is my soror. Yeah. And Becky like, well, where are you all frenemies? Was there any drama? Let me know. Don't make me get my swole on. And she like, well, it depend on the day, but we cool. And she like, well, yeah, she like, I'm proud of y'all with Bossy. She says, yeah, well, we trying our best. And what about you? What do you do? And then Becky was sitting there listening because she was wondering when they gonna serve hors d'oeuvres. And she said, you know what? I just boring day trader. And then next thing you know, they start calling her name. And so she like, oh, they calling me. I'll be back. And so they start, Becky doing the Hercules clap. And so she walk on up and she accept the award. And she like, you know what? To support this, guns down, fists up, I'm donating $2 million. And then Becky and Giselle was like blown away. They like, what? And Becky, she said, how come you didn't tell me your friend is rich? Hercules. And then she throw up the little pinky, ski-wee. Becky like, ski-wee. She like, put them little hot dogs down, Becky. And meanwhile, we see the producer of the Empire movie, and he's talking with White Tracy, and she's all trying to get an information sneak tip on, asking him about the script and trying to find out what Lucious has been cutting out. And he said, well, I found a little information, but Lucious felt it was kind of detracted from the main story. She said, well, let me see, and I'll be able to let you know. And he says, well, I don't think I'm supposed to be showing you all this stuff. And she says, well, I'm one of Lucious' biggest friends, oldest friends, and I own part of Empire. I could tell him you didn't want to play ball, and then we can deal with it from there. He's like, well, hold on. I did find this tape right here from Philly Street, and he was robbed around the time Lucious made his rise, and it's kind of talking about that. She says, oh, really? Let me hear that. And he said, I don't know. She says, well, I can tell Lucious you didn't want to play ball. He said, well, here, I give it to you. And she said, let me see that script also. Let me check and just make sure it's accurate. And he says, you gonna promise to tell Lucious I played ball? She said, oh yeah, I will. You're so talented. Thank you. And she just so fake and just tricked him out of his drawers right there. Meanwhile, we see back at the studio at Bossy, Lala is working with Melody, and so they working on a couple little things on the song, and she coaching her on how to say a couple little lines or whatever, and they all smiles. And then Lynn Cookie walks in. She said, can I speak to her for a minute? And so she say, hey, how you doing, Melody? I heard you the sensei for Lala. She say, well, I don't know if that's what they call it. And she say, so that little term learned that she was singing out there. I've heard that before. She said, well, you know, people do that stuff all the time. She said, yeah, but this was different. I heard it about 10 years ago from somebody named Melvin. And, you know, it sounded real similar to that. And he said, look, I don't go by Melvin no more, okay? And she's like, you know, that's a dead name. And you and your evil husband have already did enough. All you lions are the same. And then she walk up out of there. And now Cookie like, oh, Lucious. Meanwhile, we see Cookie talking to her sister. And she's saying, you know, that she was really good. And, you know, she could be a star if I could help. But Lucious already poisoned the well. And I just don't know. She don't want to be bothered. And then that's when her sister say, well, you know what, Cook? You ain't never gave up that easy. You should go after it if that's what you want. She say, yeah, I know. And besides, we need to go through these clothes. She said, I ain't never knew it would be so hard to go through so many clothes. Anyway, it's going to be a lot of little cookies running around. And then she started looking at her wedding ring. And she say, is that your wedding ring? Go ahead, give it here. Time to put it up. She say, girl, please, this mine. Anyway, you ain't going to do nothing but pawn it. She say, yeah, I was going to probably make some earrings. She said, no, I'm going to make a toe ring. They like, ooh, girl. Meanwhile, we see Lulu and he with Badu and he said, look here. I want you to see all of me. I'm going to take you to this special place of mine right here. And this place here is special. It helped me get my spirit back. Yeah, I started in Philly, but when I came to New York, this is it. And this man right here, he's the one that helped right here. And so he's like, Lucious, how you doing? And then he sees Badu. He like, oh, Badu, how you doing? And so then he give Lucious dap or whatever. And then he look at her and then start hugging her up. And so now Lucious is a little jealous. He like, wait a minute, man. How you two know each other? She say, well, when I was in my therapy for chemo, I came here all the time to get my mind off everything and just play music. And he just helped me through it all. And he said, oh, okay. And she said, yeah, this place is very special to me also. And so he said, all right, man, well, I'm going to leave you all to it and we'll talk, okay? And so then old boy leave and walk off. And now Lucious is talking. He said, I can't believe this. All this time and you got this place special to you too? She said, well, you know, it's no such thing as coincidences. Maybe this place is special to both of us because we were both meant to be together and meet. He's like, maybe. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, she said, I don't believe in coincidences. And so then Lucious, he's starting to melt in her hands right there and everything. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, we see Andre, and he's going to meet up with the unsignable artist, Reg, and Prophetic, the poet. And so he was talking to him and he with some little white chocolate over there dancing, and he like, hey, look, I'm sorry about what happened. Hey, I should have kept business and the foundation separate. Here, this party is for you to make up for it. He's like, hey, man, you sure know how to make up, man. I appreciate it. He said, hey, no problem, man. He said, you gonna stay? He says, nah, man, I can't stay. I gotta go back to a little lion cub, but you take care and enjoy. And so Andre and his wife Terry walk off, and he leave him with a little white chocolate over there kissing and hugging. Meanwhile, back at the studio, we see Melody, and she's over there working on the piano, and then Cookie come in and she says, excuse me, I just wanted to talk to you. She said, I'm busy, I'm working. She said, I understand, I know, it's just that I just wanted to talk to you earlier. I was sorry, I wasn't trying to, upset you or anything. It's just that a lot has been going on with Lucious, and I understand how he could be, and I just want to let you know I'm sorry and I apologize for his behavior. And she said, well, you know what? That's more than I ever got from anybody. Most people don't apologize in this business, okay? And then Cookie said, well, I ain't like most people, girl, but you know, you a star, and how you feel singing backup for Lala when that's really supposed to be you center stage? Close your eyes and just imagine it. I can help you. Let me see. Go ahead, play. And so Meanwhile, while they playing, we see Lulu and Badu, and they playing a little duet, and there he got his little guitar going, and she's singing, sounding good, and so he getting all into it, and think he MTV Unplugged, and so she's singing or whatever, and he all into it, falling in love, and he's like, oh man, I could listen to you sing all day long. She say, oh, is that right? Well, we don't have much time left, meanwhile we see us later in the evening, back at the party where Reg from the Shy was with Lil White Chocolate. He all kissing all over her and everything. All of a sudden her daddy walk in and he all upset, screaming her name, and then he see her on top of riding that little chocolate magic stick, and he gets furious. He's ready to slap punch people, get to him and kill Reg. And Reg, he's like, well, I'm gonna kill you. And he's like, she's only 15. And Reg is like, oh, wait a minute, 15? And everybody is looking at him and got their phones out and stuff. And now Reg looks stupid right now, like he R. Kelly Jr. Meanwhile, we see Lucious and took her to Empire, to the studio. And she's like, oh, so this is nice. So this is it, huh? He said, well, I started off with just making one hit at a time. And then I worked with somebody. And then next thing you know, I made hits. I became known as the hit maker. And everybody wanted me to work with him then, man. I mean, it was just crazy how it all worked. And she said, is that right? And he said, yeah, I mean, hey. And she said, so I feel like an energy in here. He's like, I knew you'd pick up on that. She said, yeah, but also I feel a dark energy in here too. He said, I mean, you need both, the yin and the yang. And he over here blowing on her hand and stuff. And he said, she's like, I don't know. It's kind of scary to me, Lucious. He's like, it's not, it's okay. And then meanwhile, we see Andre, and he's talking with Reg, and he said, man, I'm ruined, man. And Andre said, just let me handle it. He said, are you sure? I mean, I didn't know. I swore she was 18. He said, look, I'll take care of it, brother. Don't worry about it. That's what friends are for. He's like, all right, man, thanks. And then they hug up, show love. And then Andre said, just let me handle this. I got your back. And so he's like, all right, man, I appreciate it, man. I owe you. And Andre walk away with a little smirk and this, on his face. Meanwhile, we see the script with all this writing and stuff, and White Tracy is listening to that tape and at the same time reading the script. And then we see that while she's listening to the tape, it's like a aha, I got your moment, and she's shocked. And then she like gets up with the tape, and then she calls on the phone, Lucious, I need to talk to you right away. It's very important. And as she gets off the phone, she sees Lucious in the little studio across the way with Badu, and then she just gets real jealous and salty, like she's like really pissed, as if like her and Lucious was dating or getting back together or something, and he cheated on her. Meanwhile, we see Becky, and she's sitting there on Swole in the office, and then Giselle come in, and she like, Becky, my friend, she just gave me a check for $100,000. And Becky is like, what? And why is she sending us money? And she said, well, I kind of gave her a check for $10,000. Hold on. I gave her the $10,000 in good faith because she said that she'd invested for us. I want to test the waters. Test the waters? And she said, yeah. And next thing you know, she flipped it and I got 100,000. She's like, so let me tell you, is she some type of African prince or, needing money or just too good to be true one time only? She's like, no, she's my friend and she was looking out for me. And so now she said that she's going to give us another chance to invest, and she gave me this IPO, and if we give her $2 million right here, see, look, the check already cleared. If I give her $2 million, then Becky like, hold on. $2 million. Now look, this phone, you use this for more than Uber Eats, because that's all I use mine for. She like, look, you can check your bank, Becky. And so look, if we do this right here, we can get all the money we need. And she said, yeah, but if this don't work, Giselle, we'll be broke. That's all we have. So if you give her $2 million and it don't work out, then we're gonna be out. And if it's too good to be true and it fails, then what can we do? We're gonna be without anything. And so Giselle started thinking about it for a second, and Becky kind of convinced her a little bit that this might be a bad idea. Meanwhile, we see Terry, and she's walking through the house or whatever, and then she sees that white couple, the white girl and the dude, the daddy, inside the office, and she's about to look and be nosy, but Andre come and then close the door on her. And then he starts talking to him, and he's like, hey, good job. She said, hey, I talked to my agent. I told him I could play 15, and he just laughed. And he said, hey, you did good. And he gives them 2 envelopes full of money, and they go ahead and leave because he basically paid them to set up the prodigy, aka Reg. And so then Kingsley is sitting at the table laughing. He's like, bravo, brother. He said, hey, that was sweet, wasn't it? He said, yeah, you did good. I like that. He's like, yeah, you pulled the playbook out of Lucious lying. He's like, no, Lucious, he would have blackmailed him. This was a lot smoother. He said, yeah, I'll handle this next one too. Meanwhile, we see Lucious, he's waking up, and he's in the bed by himself, and Badu is packing. He like, wait, hold on, man. Where you going? You just gonna leave like that? She said, I told you I had to leave. I couldn't stay. He said, but wait a minute. I thought we had more time. She said, I mean, I really like you, Lucious, but that energy and everything, I don't think this is right. What we had is no longer there. Then she said, I'll see you later. And then she leaves. And so now he's sitting there feeling a little left behind. Then Cookie texts him talking about meet me at Leviticus. It's important. So he's like, oh, brother. Meanwhile, he gets up, he goes to Leviticus, and there's some people on stage, and he's coming. He's like, what's going on, Cookie? And she said, just shut up and sit down. He like, don't talk to me like that. You tell me like that, I might as well leave, man. And she said, go just sit down and watch. And so he sit down. Next thing you know, Melody come out, and she starts singing this song that her and Cookie had talked about. And Lucious is looking like, oh, you again. And so she starts singing a little song or whatever, and Lucious is sitting there listening, and he a little, half upset, and Cookie looking all proud or whatever. And so while the song is singing, then flashbacks start playing, and we see that Lucious come in, and he like, all right, where you at, man? What in the world? And Bunky say, what the hell is this? Some type of Halloween costume? And then Melody say, this is my truth. This is who I am. And Lucious said, what? You are going to take that off, man, and you are going on the stage as Melvin. I paid for Melvin. And he said, it's a room full of people as Melvin out there. And she said, no, I'm not. Bunky said, shut the hell up. What the hell wrong with you? You take that stuff off. And she said, no, this is my truth. And Lucious said, either you pay back $1.2 million or you'll never work again in this town. I paid for Melvin, and that's the contract you signed. And he just broke out crying and left. Meanwhile, she's still singing and finished wrapping up the song, and Cookie is all happy and clapping, and Lucious get up and give her a little clap or whatever. And so Cookie say, well, this right here, this should cover your 1.2 million. This is your ring back, okay? And then she give him his wedding ring back, and she say, right here, Melody, this right here, you messed up. And so Lucious is looking, he walk up, he say, you know what, I made a mistake years ago and I apologize. And then he puts the ring down on the stage, and then he walks off and leaves after he look at Cookie like, I'm not gonna take your ring, just have her. And then they hug or whatever, and they all happy. Meanwhile, Becky come in, belly on swole, and she's dancing, gyrating or whatever, doing the little, booty bump, and she happy talking about, we just made $10 million. And she like, give me some of that bear hug. She put wrap up, she got the meat squeezing out the sides from the bear hug, and she like, we made $10 million, girl. I've been watching the stock, and man, I'm so glad I trusted you. And she said, Becky, I need to talk to you. She said, what? I just spent some money on some new Acer awards. She like, I didn't invest the money. Becky said, wait a minute, hold on, what? She said, I didn't do it, Becky. You told me all that stuff and them valid points, and I just listened and I chickened out. And Becky like, what? You did what? And so, meanwhile, we see Cookie in the studio and she's recording with Melody and she just looking like she about to make a hit right quick. Meanwhile, we see Andre and he's with Terry and he's like, Terry, I want to tell you something. Close your eyes. It's something very important. She's like, Andre, what? You're scaring me. He's like, I'm a man of my word. I told you. And then he comes and it's like a wedding, ceremony stuff to try out. And he gets on one knee and he says, Terry, will you be my wife? And she says, yes, Andre. And then they kiss or whatever and they happy. Meanwhile, we see Lucious and now he's running outside trying to catch Badu. And he like, wait a minute, don't leave, man. She said, Lucious, I can't do it. I gotta go. And he said, no, please, just stay. I need you. I'm sorry, okay? I made a mistake. And she said, oh, well, I mean, I don't know. It's just the energy. It just don't seem right. It's not the same. And he said, look, we could be together. I showed you my real truth. I showed you me. And that's what I am. I want to be with you. And next thing you know, they do a little headbutt. Meanwhile, we see at Empire, we see White Tracy then got Philly Street, David Banner in the room, and she like, I want you to listen to this. And he says, when you got robbed, this is the tape of, Shine and Lucious talking about it. I think that they had something to do with it, and I think Lucious is the one that set you up. And so now he getting all salty, getting guzzling down a little cognac, getting mean mugged and pissed real quick. And she said, yeah, he did it. Meanwhile, real talk right here. Now, I think that Empire, unfortunately, is on the same path as Power with both people dying, and we gotta do a whodunit and work backwards. So now they got us thinking that maybe Andre probably killed him, or Philly Street, or White Tracy, or all these different characters. Or it may be, I think what's gonna happen is Damon Johns is gonna find out that Lucious been with his daughter, and he's gonna end up coming to get revenge. I don't know what y'all think gonna happen with Lucious. Also, keep in mind to visit my website, www.jaymoorereviews.com. I got a video explaining about the trials and tribulations of the last couple years that I've been through, and it's real important you check that out. Also, I want to thank everybody that support me on patreon.com. Remember, $1 a month minimum gets you access to a lot of great videos. I just went to Arnaz J concert. I got the video on there for you. And last but not least,
watching,
please
leave
a
comment,
hit
that
like
button,
and
subscribe,
and
I'll see you
and
the
next video.